From well-preserved mummies to long-lost relics and enigmatic ice formations, the cold embrace of glaciers and permafrost has yielded remarkable discoveries that challenge our understanding of the world. Join us as we explore these frozen treasures, each one telling a unique story of survival, mystery, and the relentless march of time. Get ready to embark on a journey through some of the most fascinating and bizarre finds that ice has kept hidden for centuries. A hidden mountain range. In 1958, a Soviet expedition made an astonishing discovery in Antarctica, an entire mountain range buried under 600 meters of ice. This range, called the Gamburtsev Mountain Range, spans about 1,250 kilometers and includes peaks reaching up to 3,390 meters in height. Despite being comparable in size to the European Alps, the range remains elusive due to its remote ice-covered location. Consequently, scientists have very limited knowledge about its characteristics. Hidden gold beneath melting glaciers. Located underground, melting glaciers have uncovered new gold deposits. During the last ice age, glaciers transported gold-bearing rocks, many of which became frozen within the ice. Typically, gold is scattered as sediment, but the melting glaciers have started to reveal substantial quantities of gold. As global warming progresses, the volume of gold in glacial streams is expected to increase, providing a potential windfall for prospectors who time their efforts correctly. A new dinosaur species. In 1986, Argentinian geologists Eduardo Alero and Roberto Scasso discovered a new species of dinosaur during an expedition to James Ross Island in Antarctica. They uncovered the bones of an ankylosaur buried deep under the ice. Due to the permafrost and extreme weather conditions, it took a decade to excavate the fossil. This new species has been named Antarctopelta, meaning Antarctic shield in English. To date, this single fossil remains the only specimen of the species ever found. Yuka the mammoth. In 2010, a group of Siberian tusk hunters discovered one of the world's most incredible Ice Age relics, Yuka, a woolly mammoth that roamed the icy tundra about 39,000 years ago, according to estimates. Yuka likely met her end after falling into a swamp and becoming stuck, resulting in her lower body being almost perfectly preserved. Remarkably, scientists were able to extract flowing blood from her remains, discovering that mammoth blood contains a natural antifreeze. Yuka is now displayed in Moscow, making her a fascinating exhibit to visit on your next trip to the city. A box of jewels. In 2013, a rich alpinist hiking across a glacier on Mont Blanc discovered a metal box embedded in the ice. The box, marked Made in India, contained around 100 colorful gems, including sapphires, emeralds, and rubies. Further investigation revealed that the jewels came from a crashed Indian Airlines flight from either 1950 or 1966. Despite efforts, authorities were unable to locate the original owner. Consequently, it was decided to split the jewels between the alpinist and the landowners. The alpinist received half of the gems, valued at approximately $340,000, as his reward. Grasshopper Glacier. Grasshoppers and glaciers seem like an unlikely combination, yet in the US state of Montana, within the Beartooth Mountains of Custer National Forest, lies the unique Grasshopper Glacier. Unlike typical white glaciers, this one has a greyish hue due to the presence of tens of millions of locusts embedded in the ice. The prevailing theory is that centuries ago, a swarm of billions of locusts was migrating over the Rocky Mountains when a massive winter storm trapped them, freezing some of them in the ice and creating the remarkable sight seen today. Grasshopper Glacier was first discovered in the early 1900s by geologist J.P. Kimball, who sent samples of the locust to the U.S. Bureau of Entomology in 1914. It was revealed that they were Rocky Mountain locusts, a species that went extinct over a century ago, likely due to agricultural development in the American West. This discovery was a scientific treasure, as the frozen locusts were exceptionally well preserved. Grasshopper Glacier isn't the only glacier to contain such remains, but many similar glaciers have melted due to lower snowfall rates and higher temperatures since the late 20th century. If you wish to visit Grasshopper Glacier, it's best to go sooner rather than later. Reaching the glacier is a challenging trek requiring an off-road vehicle for part of the journey and several hours of hiking, often in adverse weather conditions. The glacier is only accessible from late July to September, making it a difficult yet rewarding destination to visit. Allen Hills 84001. While the meteorite supposed to have wiped out the dinosaurs is the most famous space rock, Allen Hills 84001 is a close second. Discovered in the Allen Hills ice field of Antarctica in 1984, This 1.9 kilogram igneous rock is believed to have crystallized from magma on Mars around 4.2 billion years ago. Over time, it was shocked and altered, likely by meteorite or asteroid impacts, and it's believed it formed as part of Mars's crust approximately 4 billion years ago and remained there until an asteroid impact about 17 million years ago sent it into space. After traveling through space, it landed in Antarctica about 13,000 years ago. The rock's possible ancient origins are fascinating, but its most controversial feature emerged in 1996. NASA scientists conducted microscopic and chemical analyses on the meteorite and suggested that its carbonate grains might have been produced by Martian microorganisms. These grains were associated with organic compounds and contained tiny crystals of iron minerals similar to those produced by bacteria on Earth. If true, this would imply that life once existed on Mars, a groundbreaking revelation. However, subsequent investigations challenged this hypothesis. Scientists argue that the carbonate grains could be explained by non-biological processes. In 2022, an authoritative report in the Journal of Science confirmed that the carbonate grains were not signs of life, but were instead created by water. Despite this, there is still compelling evidence suggesting that Mars may have once been hospitable to life. Although the chances of finding life on Mars today are slim, Alan Hill's 84001 remains a significant and intriguing piece of space rock. It's currently on display at the Smithsonian Museum of Natural History, where it continues to captivate visitors with its extraordinary story. A baby mammoth. In June 2022, a miner named Travis Mudry was working in the gold-rich permafrost of Yukon Territory when he made a remarkable discovery. While digging into a wall of frozen dirt, he unearthed what he initially thought was a mummified baby buffalo. However, upon closer inspection, he realized the creature had a trunk. It was a baby mammoth. After reporting the find, all work ceased and experts were called in. Yukon government's paleontologist Grant Zazula couldn't arrive immediately, but he sent 2 geologists who rushed to the site. They managed to secure the remains just before a storm hit. The mammoth was wrapped in a tarp and taken to a nearby location for a ceremony attended by scientists, miners, politicians, and First Nations elders. The elders blessed the mammoth and named her Nunchorga, meaning big baby animal in their language. A quick examination revealed that Nunchorga was a female, likely about a month old when she died, over 30,000 years ago, it was estimated. It's believed that she got stuck in the mud while grazing with her mother, leading to her death. Her exceptional preservation is attributed to the rapid burial and the unique conditions of the permafrost, which acts like a freezer, preserving soft tissues such as muscles, skin and hair, as well as important DNA. Nunchorga is the first complete baby woolly mammoth found in North America, and only the second in the world, making her discovery incredibly significant for the scientific and archaeological communities. This finding adds to the remarkable collection of well-preserved Ice Age animals found in the Yukon, including a wolf pup, a caribou calf, and giant camels. Antarctic ice holes. In October 2017, scientists were startled when a massive and unusual hole appeared in Antarctica's winter sea ice. This hole, about the size of the US state of Maine, seemed to materialize suddenly, leading to intense scientific investigation. The hole was identified as a polynia, a region of open water in the sea ice. Polynias form when warmer, saltier, deep ocean water rises to the surface, melting the ice above. This process creates an area of open water, and because the water in the polynia is constantly exposed to the atmosphere, it prevents new ice from forming. While the mechanism of polynias is understood, their occurrence in this particular fashion, far from the coast where such features are typically found, was puzzling. Scientists are still uncertain about the long-term impact of polynias and their potential effects on the local environment. There is speculation that they might be linked to climate change, but this connection has yet to be definitively proven. Researchers used data from satellites, autonomous floats, and tagged marine animals to study the phenomenon. They discovered that turbulent eddies around the ice brought more salt into the sea, which then reached the surface through a process known as Ekman transport. The study revealed that polynias can significantly affect water movement and heat distribution, potentially influencing Antarctic climate dynamics. Iron Age skis. In 2014, a remarkable find was made in Norway's national park when scientists discovered an ancient ski. 7 years later, a matching ski was found just a few meters away, in even better condition than its counterpart. Skiing has a long history, with archaeological evidence suggesting that skis were used by hunters in Europe and Asia around the end of the last ice age, approximately 11,000 years ago. The oldest confirmed ski found in Russia dates back about 8,000 years, and wooden skis have been discovered in Scandinavia, dating as far back as 3200 BC. The skis found in Norway are relatively young, estimated to be about 1,300 years old. What makes these skis noteworthy is their exceptional condition. Measuring approximately 188 centimeters long and 18 centimeters wide, the second ski is slightly larger than the first. According to archaeologist Lars Pillow from Norway's Glacier Archaeology program, the skis are not identical, but we should not expect them to be. Skis are handmade, not mass-produced, and they have a long history of wear and repair before Iron Age skiers used them together and they ended up in the ice. Skis feature raised footholds, leather straps and twisted birch bark bindings which were likely attached through holes in the footholds. It's believed that their owner was a hunter, traveller or both, and their discovery highlights that even the remote, high mountains of southern Norway were bustling with activity 1,300 years ago. Interestingly, after the discovery of the first ski, researchers wondered if its underside had been lined with fur to provide additional grip. However, the new ski showed a furrow similar to those found on other ancient and modern skis, leading researchers to believe that the skis were not covered with fur after all. Ancient viruses. It might sound like science fiction, but viruses can indeed survive under ice for thousands of years. While it's nearly impossible to determine how many ancient viruses are frozen and how many might have unintentionally been released, scientists have uncovered a few examples. Research has primarily focused on viruses from permafrost that infect single-celled organisms called amoebas. These viruses are harmless to humans and provide a useful model for studying other potential ancient pathogens. As computational biologist G. Mitchell Clavier notes, we will never risk isolating a virus potentially capable of infecting modern mammals. We do not have formal proof that viruses other than amoeba-specific ones could survive as long, but there would be no reason why not. All viruses share the property of being inert particles outside their host cells. We do not wish to take the immense risk of starting a new pandemic with unknown zombie viruses from the distant past just to prove a point. Among the viruses discovered, Pithovirus sibericum stands out as one of the largest ever found. Discovered in Siberian permafrost, this virus measures 1.5 millimeters in length and has a thick-walled oval shape with a cork-like structure at one end and a honeycomb-like grid. It's believed to be about 30,000 years old. Another significant find is Mavirus cissus, which was also found in the same 30,000-year-old Siberian permafrost sample. This virus is slightly smaller and has a hairy outer layer. Notably, it can produce and release 200 to 300 new viral particles for each virus that infects an amoeba. Despite its prolific replication, it poses no danger to humans or animals. The oldest virus found in permafrost so far is Pandoravirus yodoma, dating back supposedly 48,500 years. Discovered in icy deposits in the Russian Far East, it has a large egg-shaped particle measuring about 1 micrometer in length. While these discoveries are intriguing, the variability among ancient viruses raises concerns. There's a real possibility that a dangerous virus could be hidden in the ice, potentially causing a new pandemic if it were to be released as the ice melts. Therefore, ongoing monitoring of new viruses in the Arctic is crucial to prevent such scenarios from becoming a reality. Ötzi the Iceman. When most people think of mummies, they imagine the ancient Egyptian rulers and nobles. However, in 1991, a different kind of mummy was discovered in the Alps. German tourists hiking near the border of Austria and Italy stumbled upon a frozen corpse that would later be known as Ötzi. This discovery was significant as Ötzi was determined to be the oldest naturally preserved mummy in Europe, dating between 3,350 and 3,105 BC, making him over 5,000 years old. Ötzi's remarkable preservation was due to the extremely cold temperatures of the Alps, which prevented decomposition. Scientists at the University of Innsbruck revealed that Ötzi was about 5 feet 2 inches tall, left-handed, and wore a size 8 shoe. His physical characteristics, including brown eyes, dark brown hair, and tan skin, suggested he had Southern European heritage. Despite living in the Alps, Ötzi faced numerous health issues. He was lactose intolerant, had a rare genetic anomaly affecting his ribs, and suffered from cavities, intestinal parasites, Lyme disease, and chronic back pain. Circumstances of his death were as intriguing as his health issues. Ötzi's belongings, including a backpack, axe, dagger, bow, arrows, and a small amount of food, suggested he was hunting and gathering in the rugged terrain. The details of his journey indicated a sense of urgency, possibly reflecting a desperate attempt to navigate through the harsh environment. The geopolitical complexity surrounding Ötzi's discovery added another layer to the story. The glacier where Ötzi was found straddled the border between North Tyrol in Austria and South Tyrol in Italy. Although the glacier had retreated since the Treaty of Saint-Germain in 1919, which had defined the border, it was determined that Ötzi's remains were found 93 meters inside Italian territory. This led to a cooperative agreement between Austria and Italy, with the scientific examinations conducted in Innsbruck and Ötzi eventually being displayed at the South Tyrol Museum of Archaeology in Italy. The HMS Investigator. In 1848, Sir John Franklin, a renowned Arctic explorer, vanished during his expedition to find the Northwest Passage. His disappearance prompted a series of search missions funded by Britain, but it wasn't until July 2010 that a crucial part of the mystery was solved. The British Navy's quest to find a navigable route through the Arctic Ocean from the Atlantic to the Pacific was driven by the hope of a quicker shipping route, as the Panama Canal did not yet exist. Franklin's expedition, which set sail in 1845 with the HMS Erebus and HMS Terror, faced severe problems from the outset. Contaminated food and harsh conditions led to the ships being trapped in the ice during the winter of 1845-46. After 2 years with no updates, Franklin's wife requested a search. The only evidence recovered was the so-called Victory Point note, which detailed the crew's struggles and Franklin's death. For years, Inuit oral history suggested they'd encountered the abandoned ships and used them for copper and iron before the vessels sank. However, the exact locations of the ships remained unknown. The breakthrough came in July 2010 when Parks Canada, using an underwater scanner, discovered the wreck of the HMS Investigator, a ship sent in 1853 to search for Franklin, but also lost to the ice. This discovery led to further successful searches. The HMS Erebus was found in 2014 and the HMS Terror in 2016, with ongoing investigations revealing numerous artifacts. This find not only resolves a long-standing historical mystery, but also strengthens Canada's claim to the Northwest Passage, highlighting that British and, by extension, Canadian exploration in the Arctic predates American claims. That's all for today. Thank you for joining us on this chilling adventure, and be sure to stay tuned for more incredible stories from the edges of discovery. Until next time, keep wandering and exploring the mysteries that lie just beneath the surface.